Well, don't you? Y'all guys ready? Yes. Okay, this morning about 7:30, we had a deputy respond to a call near Spring Hope. The deputy went to the call. The call was a person was in someone's house and there was actually a person living in the house. Come to find out that it's a home invasion. This subject then leaves, goes down US 64 alternate on foot near Spring Hope, and is encountered by Deputy or Sergeant Salazar on Big Jim Road. At that time, he confronted the suspect. The suspect then, armed with some type of weapon, approaches, and the deputy fires one shot. And at this time, the deputy is not injured, and the individual is on the way to wake bed and probably in surgery at this time. He's stable but critical.
Who is the person your deputy is holding in this photo here?
This is Juan Salazar, and we're doing a workup at this time to figure out where he's from and what other charges he might have, because, you know, it's not reasonable for somebody just to home invade a house. So that is under investigation at this time.
So this man here is the one that's the focal point of the home invasion?
That is correct, and he is the individual that was shot one time.
What about the people that were living in that home?
They were in the house, and here's somebody come inside of the house, confronts them. The guy then goes into another room. The homeowner leaves and goes into a safe area in the house, calls law enforcement, and law enforcement responds.
Okay, and so what charges is he facing at this time?
At this time, we've not got to the end of it, but obviously he's going to be charged with entering that house, and he's going to be charged with the outward push towards law enforcement on the assault.
And so the people that were living there was no injuries to them? Was anything taken from the home?
There was no injuries. There was some items taken from the home. We're not exactly sure what all was taken at this time because that's still under investigation, but there was items taken from the home.
Is that man there known to the Nash County Sheriff's Office?
He was not known to me or any of my command staff or the deputies that I spoke to. However, he has had a criminal record and he has been involved in some different types of crimes in the past.
What about the status of your deputy?
My deputy is fine at this time. Obviously, he's on administrative leave after a shooting. That's just protocol. The State Bureau of Investigations is coming in to conduct an investigation on the shooting. Anytime you have a law enforcement shooting, another agency will come in to make sure that all the protocols were met.
And what's the name of the deputy?
The deputy is Sergeant Miguel Salazar.
And how long has he been with your office?
He's been with the office about 7 years.
It's no secret that the Nash County Sheriff's Office is short on deputies. It's something that you've been very vocal about. And from my understanding, you only had 4 deputies in this county of this size early this morning. And I know that's of great concern to you, and the fact that that also lessens the response time to an event like this.
It is. It's very disturbing to me for the simple fact we have 543 square miles in this county and nearly 100,000 people. It's a danger not only to the citizens, but to my law enforcement officers. When you have backup that's 10 minutes away and the nearest vehicle to you at that time is at our sheriff's office because we're running so short, it is a problem. Thank God today that Spring Hope Police Department responded and was on scene shortly thereafter, but there's a lot of these areas that are so remote there's no police officer that can come back you up. But on this occasion here, Spring Hope Police Department responded and assisted.
So you're telling me potentially you had a deadly home invasion and you only have 4 deputies out on the streets for Nash County?
I'm 14 or 15 deputies short at this time. I had 4 patrol officers working today. And that is a danger to the officer, that's a danger to the public, and in this situation here, It could have been the other way around and my officer laying out there and me having to go notify next of kin. Law enforcement is having more encounters now probably than ever before with aggravated assaults towards law enforcement. You see it across the nation. We try to focus on training and doing better techniques and things of that nature, but obviously you need a full staff to be able to do that.
How many shots were fired at this suspect?
One shot was fired, it put him down, and after that, EMS arrived about 10 minutes later, and he was obviously treated at the scene and then transported immediately to Wake Med Hospital.
Can you talk about that confrontation? I mean, normally you guys are kind of putting out all efforts to make sure that the suspect stands down, de-escalate, walk us through what happened this morning.
So the deputy responds, and the individual is walking down the road, meeting the description of the home invasion. When he gets to encounter him, he gets out of the car and encounters him. There was a conversation, I think, I'm not sure at this time, I've not watched the body cam video. I'm just picking up this from the investigators, that at that time, the suspect here charged at the deputy, and the deputy fired one shot, center mass, and he's in Wake Med at this time, critical but stable.
So the homeowner called 911, gave a description of this guy, your deputy located him, is that correct?
That is correct, that is correct.
Have you all seen an uptick in home invasions?
You know, we've not, but that's one of the things. 50 years ago, you never heard about a home invasion, and today it's not uncommon for you to have one. Obviously, in the more urban areas, you see more of this, but this was in a quaint area of Nash County that oftentimes don't see this type of activity. So you never know, and I urge the public, when you see something, make sure that you communicate to law enforcement. And if you're home, make sure that you know who's coming to your house before you let them in. Lock your doors at night, lock your doors in the daytime if you're gonna go back outside. It's just that extra precaution that you can do to keep safe, because you never know.
You said that this guy here, this suspect, wasn't known to the Nash County Sheriff's Office. Did he live in the area? Did he have reason to know these folks in which he was trying to rob?
I don't think he knew them, and I think that he has lived here, but he also has lived near Florida and Georgia and some other areas, so I'm not very sure why he was in this area or what he was doing over there today.
So this man here has previously not faced any charges from your office?
I think he's had some traffic violations, and he's got a few pending violations, and he does have a charge or a conviction in Florida.
For what?
I haven't discussed that yet with my investigators to find out what that is.
What else is important that you think that we need to know?
You know, it's just important to know that, look what law enforcement's going through today. Look at the threats out here. It's a serious job, it's a deadly job, and that's a lot on the law enforcement officer. You think about it today, my deputy will have to live with this the rest of his life and understand that, you know, the fabric of law enforcement, if law enforcement don't stop these threats, people breaking in your home, there's nobody else coming. And I just commend the actions of my deputy, his quick thinking, and his training prevailed today, and he's able to go home and be with his family. Any other questions? Thank you.